I'm Rachel Smith, and we're part of the problem-solving group. And our problem was the technological inconsistencies in the learning management system. At the beginning of this course, we were grouped together and tasked with finding a problem and a solution. When I read the group assignment, I had no idea how a group of strangers and students were going to come together and agree to a problem and solve it. But our first group assignment led us to our problem, and we spent more time trying to figure out how to meet than we did on the actual assignment or coursework the first couple of weeks of classes. As a group of 5, we're a small representation of a large and quickly growing number of online students. We all had similar experiences. Our problem is the lack of an all-inclusive learning management system for the students of St. Petersburg College. According to Dr. Law, in a memo dated August 2013, St. Petersburg College is presently the largest provider of online education in the Florida college system. We are all online students, and we all have a common problem.
Hi, my name is mccutcheon. We started off this class by spending the first 2 weeks, which was 25% of our course time, just figuring out how to meet and communicate. We realized then that that was a great place to pull our problem from. We each have, as adults in online programs, had varying challenges and experiences. We decided to, after collectively agreeing, we decided to conduct a small survey to see how other students felt about online classes. Our control was to find 20 students who had taken online or blended classes. Of the 20 students, 14 of these had experienced more than one online meeting or presentation forum, and that was left at the discretion of the teacher. 12 of these students had experienced group or team projects, which means that not only one student had to learn the meeting forum, but the entire group had to be proficient in the program in order to meet and conduct the projects. The same 14 of 20 students felt as though time was not properly utilized due to learning the new program. It was not necessarily having anything to do with the content of the course. They felt like this was a reflection on time management and the discretion of the teacher. All 20 of the students agreed that having one uniform program controlled by the college and not left up to the discretion of the professor would allow for a better time management and leave the focus on the course content and not on having to learn another new program.
Hi, I'm Lisa mccutcheon, and I'm going to talk to you about the effects of an incomprehensive learning management system. There are many capabilities that are needed within a management system. Angel provides some of them, but not all of them. Angel does have email, it has video, it has Spock, but each student would need to put their own video into Spock, and they wouldn't be able to get a video altogether. Instant meetings is not something that's available in the learning management system currently, being Angel. So what we had to do for our class was go out and try anytime meetings, as Tara had mentioned, and that provides a lot of anxiety for people learning those new programs. And then file sharing, and the list goes on. There's instant messaging. All kinds of things need to be incorporated into one comprehensive LMS system. There are 50 collaboration tools that are available for educators. With so many choices, where do students begin if it's not provided for them as part of their learning experience at St. Petersburg College? That's why it's important for the college to select and not for the students. To add to that, if you take a 3-credit course, the syllabus says you should be spending 15 to 20 hours on that course content. As Tara had talked about, when we first went into our meeting, we spent our first 2 weeks trying to learn how to meet. So that added to our course time. In my experience, it can add an additional 2 to 6 hours for every system that I may need to learn to be able to incorporate my video that's not available in Angel, or to do an instant meeting with students, with other teammates that may not be available in Angel. And that there is no value in that time being added to the learning experience that we should be learning at St. Petersburg College. Along with that creates a lot of stress. We have a lot of people that have different levels of variability in their experience with technology. The more you know, the easier it is going to be for you to learn that. You're going to learn it quicker. But if you don't know it, it's going to take you longer, and it's going to create a lot of stress that's not needed. We need a good educational experience. We don't need to be bogged down with learning systems to be able to get our classwork done that aren't part of our comprehensive system. So our technical experiences do vary quite a bit. The older generations, around the age of 60, they would prefer to meet face-to-face. And then you go into new technology, a little bit newer, where you might want instant messaging. And then you go into people that like to have same time. So we have a lot of generations that we're working with within the college. So our student population and our ages vary within our team. So we have a lot of variability there. There's a statement that is used a lot of time within salespeople. And what they say is, when you're learning, you're not selling. So as a salesperson, they want you to sell. And if you're learning, you're not selling. Well, for us, we have course content that we need to learn. And if we're learning a system to be able to produce what we need to as an output for our learning, then we're not learning the content, which is what we need to spend our time on. So some of the downsides to an incomprehensive learning management system is program selection inconsistency. So if you have one professor that says, well, if you need to do an instant meeting, use same time. Or if you have another one that says, use Skype, or use anytime meeting. There's inconsistencies there. And then there's no technical support for those. And then there are limitations. What are the limitations? Can you have 3 people meet? Can you have 5 people meet? You don't know the limitations on each of those. So then the output of each one of those programs is a quality. That quality of that program affects the learning experience for the students. It's the value. So the bottom line is, at the end of a training session, at the end of a course that students are taking in college, that's their experience. And their experience is a reflection of the college. So if they don't have a good experience in learning, it's going to be a reflection on the college.
I am Ruth McCall Bell. The good news is that St. Petersburg College has recognized the need to update its current learning management system, Angel. Angel was purchased by the college in 2009. The system is outdated and no longer meets the needs of St. Petersburg College students for an online system. Angel was purchased by BlackBerry in 2009. After being updated, it still no longer meets the needs for St. Petersburg online students. Education is important, but it needs to be current and where a student may be able to succeed at what they're doing. The next system that the college viewed was Canvas. Canvas was rejected also by the board because it did not meet the current needs of St. Petersburg technology. It was not integratable for what the college needed. Desire to Learn is the system that was presented and approved by the board in December 2013. It meets the needs of the students, it meets the needs of the instructors, and it is integrated with the system. The pilot program will take effect the summer semester of 2014, and the full active program will be integrated in the spring semester of 2015.
My name is Jeanette Flores, and I have the concluding comments. And we had different challenges as a group, and a small survey was done to support our experience, and 100% of our group agrees that there are inconsistencies of our learning experiences. Also to improve our online learning platform was selected, which is Desire to Learn, because it's a simplified management of learning online. And so the use of the uniform program would help for better time management, then students will be able to focus on their learning. Also too, St. Petersburg College does have a better understanding of what the students are going through to select this program. And this program would also help the online course instructors to appreciate how we will benefit. So we'd like to conclude by saying thank you, and we hope that all is well with this program.